Hi, Belinda here, Aussie Stitcher, coming to you on this 1st of November 2018. Holy smokes, people. Can't believe we're 2 months out from the end of the year. I hope everyone had a great Halloween that celebrated it yesterday. I hope you got lots of chocolates, candy, lollies, whatever. So in this floss tube update, I will be showing finishes, whips, stash acquisitions, haul, some floss tubers that I have watched, not all of them, but these are just the ones, various reasons that I'm picking out. Actually, it probably is. I ended up not watching a lot of floss tube this go around, and I'm going to start off with a bit of a life update. So if you're not into it, just skip forward a couple of minutes. When I start holding up stuff, you know that's the cross stitch. So it was an extremely busy month. We have officially started harvest, which means earlier get-ups, longer days. I'm really tired. But we had a really busy month. School-wise, where kids are back at school, been pretty darn busy, doing all the last term stuff. We in Australia finish our school year in December, so we're kind of in the process of doing all that end of year preparation stuff. I ended up with Michaela sick randomly for 4 days. So you know when a child's sick, when they're sick over the weekend, they're majorly sick. They can't, fake it. And then Sophie ended up really sick. Sophie ended up fracturing her toe. And randomly getting a bone infection. So that's been pretty big. We ended up 5 nights in a hospital 2 hours away because our local hospital doesn't deal with stuff like that. It really is like any emergency, doesn't do births. It's mainly fix them up of minor stuff or fix them up and get them to the nearest bigger hospital to deal with. So we ended up 5 nights there, which was really stressful on my husband, who trying to get ready for harvest, 3 kids at home, not knowing when I was going to come home at that point. Sophie was in a lot of pain. She got operated on her toe twice, one to first clear out the infection, and they left it open. She ended up with an MRI. Like, this kid was ticking off all the bucket list of medical stuff. But she's on the mend now. She does have a pick in her arm that's getting antibiotics 24/7. That should come out next week. But I did put it on my Instagram and personal Facebook, which I don't normally friend people unless I'm friendly with them. I go through stages, more truthfully. Everyone's been really supportive. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you again, Megan, Stitching May, for just being there, because you're just bloody awesome, girl. You were my person that kept me sane. And I know you're going through stuff yourself, so I really appreciate it. And there's a couple of other stitchers who I'm not sure if they want their names mentioned, but they messaged me, and I so much appreciate it. I appreciate every comment on the Instagram updates, the hearts, the how's she going, and it meant the world to Sophie that these bunch of random people that she didn't know took the time out and asked how she was going and wished her well. So thank you. Hopefully the last big thing to happen this year, because it's been I would hate to say that it's been a bad year. It's just been a lot of stuff happen. that's been trying. So, yeah, thank you everyone. People in this world can be really awesome. That's it. We'll go with our finishes. My first one is a random little squirrel that I started and completely forgot about. It's a Mill Hill kit squirrel that is supposed to be made into a fridge magnet, and I decided that it's a Christmas tree ornament because nothing says Christmas in Australia like a squirrel with autumn colours holding a nut. But anyway, I haven't baked it yet. And this little thing had like 13 colours. Not a lot of beading. When I actually sat down, I think it took me a day to finish off the stitching, and then another day on and on, like throughout the day doing the beading. And then I just did the loop that they tell you to do on the other ones when you're doing ornaments. So I just did that here. And it didn't actually give you a lot of beads left over of anything particular, so I just used the random beads that they had, and it looks pretty snazzy. I enjoy it. And my other finish, and this chart is been spoken for, someone asked for it in my last update, is Coffee Quaker. Finished it, people. Not without issues. Not without issues. So this is done on 32 count even wave Lagana, that's the word I was looking for, by Colour Casade's Golden Touch. How awesome does that look? I am really, really happy with this. So, changes. I did the S red. I changed the things for my husband and myself initials. So I left the B the same. I changed that to a G and that to an S. And it looks really wonky, like it's put, as Lisa from Lisa Stitching and Such said, looked like you put Baileys in that coffee. So it is a little bit on the wonky side. But I changed it to red because in my scrapbooking days, randomly, you're supposed to, they told you about everything needs to be odd to give it a dimension look. So for me, it was funny. There was only 2 red. So I just did this little one. And I'm hoping, like anything, my framer can make that look less wonky. And seriously, I've spent ages lining up each line up to here. It is all perfectly straight. It just looks like it had one too many drinks and is about to fall flat on its face. No other way. I changed this to the green grasshopper. And that's about it, I think. Otherwise, I did it basically as suggested. I do love this. I do. Sorry if the words are backwards. I'm really not sure how to fix that, but very rarely do I have anything with words in it anyway. So I drink some of my hair. So this is done on 40 count 1 strand over 2. Always read stuff like that, and you might not have come into the issues I did. So I used a full skein of this and then had to order it for the last little bit of in here. Luckily, Colour Cascades had one. So if you're doing it on 32 count, 2/2, you will need 2 of these. And I am pretty frugal with my thread. There's the empty one. Apple cider, I have, sorry, caramel corn, I have this much left. If you're not frugal with your thread, you will need another one of these. Apple cider, picnic basket, grasshopper, you will be fine, lots left over. Hazelnut, you will be fine. Maple syrup, you will be fine. Ruby slipper and dark chocolate. So these are going to get sent to Paula Scrap Muse, the chart, who says she did not mind the fact that I absolutely highlighted everything out of it. So I said, well, you can have it. Because I am that person that highlights my charts, unless it's the out of print ones. Then I'm actually being a bit more courteous, because I know people would like these charts and I would like to send them on. So, really, really happy. Yay! Need more coffee, people. 5 o'clock get-ups in the morning to help to actually see my husband, talk to him, because I am not a morning person, and make him his lunchbox equals to tired human. All right, so whips. I continued working on or Touching Autumn Sky, and I will show you a picture here. Of what it would look like when it's finished. And here of what it looked like before. And here it is. This is on 28 count from Dying for Cross Stitch by Kathy Davidson. I can't play Snap right now, Will. You have to wait. Oh, people, I just love this. And I've just spun my wheel of what I'm working for the next 5 days, and this came up. I am really hoping for this to be finished. I am sorry, people. The chart has been spoken for. It's going to someone who asked for it ages ago, before I'd even started it. And I was like, yeah, you can have it. But I am just loving this, and it just gives me so much pleasure, so much enjoyment. I can't wait. And I give myself 4 to 5 days in my rotation to stitch, and out of those 5 days I stitch anywhere between 3 to 4, just because that's the way my life goes. Unless you end up in hospital with your daughter, and then I didn't stitch for 5 days. I brought stitching. I was just a little bit too stressed out to want to stitch. And then in my gorgeous Megan bag that she gave me of the exploding TARDIS. I started with Stitching May and Sammy from Sammy J Stitches. The Spangled from Long Dog Sampler. This is my first Long Dog Sampler. I wonder when the designers went, oh, this is going to be our name. Did they say it really quickly over and over again and went, this will give people a laugh? And that sun has suddenly come out and I'm just gone, whoa, bright. Lovely colours. There's only like 8 colours. Now I'm doing mine on 36 count. Bittersweet by Lakeside Linens. And it is like a underneath, you know how when you in Australia we get mushrooms like everyone else, and I know which mushrooms to pick that are just your wild field mushrooms that you can pick and eat safely. And underneath them they're like that mushroomy pink. This is what this colour reminds me of. And that is what I got done. And in my definite wisdom of not realising, I'm like, I can see 36 count. It's like 18 count. It will be easy. No, it's only 18 count when you count over 2 threads. People, that's tiny. Tiny. I'm nearly 37 years old. Tiny. I take my hat off to anyone that stitches 1/2 on 40 count or any higher. I was watching a stitch and I can't remember who that was doing 55 count. Holy smokes. You are awesome. So that's been put in my wheel to be spun up at any given time. More coffee. That's my daughter that's just come hobbling in. You can come and say hi. So just before we ended up in hospital,
hello,
I spun Earth Goddess by Joan Elliott. Doesn't she look beautiful? And also Miss Crafty Stephanie has just finished Water Goddess, which completes the series, and they all look amazing. So this is done on 32 count Belfast Opal from Angel Wings and Mermaid's Tail, or Mermaid's Tail and Angel Wings. It's one way or the other. Here's the before pic. And as you can see, I didn't get a lot done. Basically, all I did was just finish off in there a bit with everything that happened. And I've already stitched on her. I'd stitched on a lot for Joan Elliott, so I wasn't too neat. We'll get this in a minute. People will get this. So it didn't need to be, but I got a little bit done.
It's pretty, Mum.
Do you want to go and see what your brother's doing, please?
Yep.
she's hoping to go back to school next week. All up, this will be her 3rd week off school.
It sucks. I can't do anything.
And then when I got home, I spun my wheel for my things I would like to try and work on regularly. And Spring Queen came up. Yay! I have in my Tiny Decisions just the seasonal queens, and whatever season that it is on, I will spin. I will work on for that month. And I've lost my train of thought. Totally lost it. So here is the before pic here. And this is done on 32 count Belfast. Picture this plus Highland. And as you can see, I got from one end to the other, and I got some pinks in and different shades. So and I was really happy with that. And that's all the whips. And as I said, I spun my wheel for what I would like to work on every month. And Touching Autumn Sky came up. So I'm really, really happy. Okay. What have I been buying? A whole heap of stuff. From Needle Minder Obsession in Australia, I got some needle minders. So I've got clay needle ones. I got this one with the sparkling headdress. This one. Joanna from Stitching Vintage Stitches, Vintage Cheap Stitches, something like that. I will have her linked below. We keep buying basically the same needle minders. We're going to be twinning it in our whips. And the last one is... yeah, I think I'm going to have to keep an eye on them before my kids nick them all. From Trisha at 3 Out Threads, I got the Rose Fairy, which I just loved. From the Aussie Stash Unload, I got the Lady in the Thread, and Catching the Wind, and that is like Iona, Sophie and Michaela. That's why I got that. When I did my one skein that I needed for finishing off Coffee Quaker, I got to make up postage, so I got Autumn Quaker from Rosewood Manor, which I will not be doing in the Valdoni threads, So does anyone know where I look for to get the conversion? Or any ideas? What colours? I mean, they're beautiful colours. I just can't justify the price. And I also got Spring Quaker. Again, not doing it in that thing. And then I also got some Ecru White, B52 and black thread because I tend to go through a lot of them. And that's it. I do have a massive box coming from Just Add Needles. Check out Marie. She's been putting up extra fabrics. She just did a fabric sale where she was selling fat quarters for $17. They're all sold, but if you needed anything. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what, and I can't think of anything. So what I'll do is I'll just do a quick list through of some of the Floss tubers I've been watching, and hopefully you will be inspired to go and check them out and watch them, give them a go. First one is, and I might get this really wrong, Myranalis. She is an American living in Australia, in tropicals. In her last video, which was just put up a couple of days ago, you could hear the beautiful birds in the background, and they were stunning. She is at this very moment stitching on a chatelaine at the Japanese garden, I think it is, and it is gorgeous. The colours are beautiful. She's only done 4 or 5 videos, so please go and check her out and leave a comment. She doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but I'm hoping you go and check her out. Sitting Sandie does videos in Swedish as well as English. She has an amazing Cinderella whip, and she's finished the Hobbit's house that everyone's been doing by that Russian designer, I think it is. I could be wrong with a Russian designer. She does beautiful whips. She does a couple of things, and her videos are really good, nice too. So please, again, check her out. I've watched Kindred Stitcher, which I know has been around for ages, and I really enjoyed her video too and loved her whips. I'm going to say your name wrong and you're going to get Scotty with me. Andrea C. I Heart Cross Stitch. I just love her videos. She is so honest in what she goes through, and her stitching is amazing. She's done some awesome finishes this year. She's doing a memorabilia where she's swapping out Lady of the Mist. Swapping out a lot of the beads and putting in Kryneck, and it looks gorgeous. Go and check her out. Stitching Fleur is back. She's an Australian, and she's a Western Australian, so it's like, go the West Australians. She's back showing off some of her finishes, her whips. Yeah, awesome stitching. Her husband is Jeff Pritchard from the Heaven and Earth whip that I do with Outback Storm. He's the photographer for that, and he does the videos for Fleur. So you get a lot of comments from Fleur to her husband, and you hear a bit of giggles in the background. And he puts in a couple of his photos that he's done, and they're gorgeous. Green Tigress Crafts. She is amazing. Does awesome whips. She has a little squirrel. I'm pretty sure it's a squirrel that does it. Like, she puts in and does the happy little dance when she's got finishes. And her last finish, one that I saw, remember, she finished on virtual stitches, and it was of an owl pirate, I think it was, but it was part of a series. And yeah, again, really enjoy her. The Hibernation Stitcher, another one that has awesome whips and just really great videos. And Lisa Stitching and Such is back after a long break and has done a video with short on cross stitch and knitting, but big on other stuff. So if you're mainly watching FlossTube for the cross stitch, then that might not be necessarily the one to you, but she's back, and keep an eye out for more videos from her when she's I think she does monthly to 6 weekly updates, and she's from New Zealand. And that's done. Just need to write some extra names down that I've mentioned. But that's me done. Short, sweet. Oh, plans. Well, you don't know where you've put something, but you kind of need it. Here it is. So I'm just putting it out there. Shoe fly. And I felt really funny doing it, but I put it out on in Instagram, and I'll put it out here. I'm turning 37 in February next year, and I know a lot of people do birthday sales, and I've always been like, oh, I really like to do that, but I'm really a bit, it seems a bit, I don't know, not comfortable for me. But myself and 2 other Australian stitchers have been talking, and we're going to start a Mirabilia for my birthday and of the other 2, and the following year we're starting a special one for one of the ladies' big birthdays. So, and then I was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to put it out there. So on the 22nd of February, I will be starting this gorgeous lady who was enabled by me, just like Touching Autumn Sky was also enabled by the same lady, of Dina from Dina Half Cross Stitch, who has just finished this beautiful lady, and it is amazing, people. Go and check out Dina's 2 videos ago finish. So I'm going to be starting this. Now, I know this is an out of print chart, and one of my friends who's starting Mirabilia with me has already stitched Sleeping Beauty, because she was a smart lady and started collecting these years and years ago when it was not OPP. So she's going to start Sleeping Princess instead. You know, I think she represents Princess in the P. Yeah. So if you have this and you would like to start with me, please do on the 22nd of February 2019. If you don't have this but you would like to start something, Sleeping Princess is an option, or really any Mirabilia that you want. I'm not going to hold it against you if you choose something else. Or if you're doing the year of no starts and you've got a Mirabilia or Joan Elliott that you would like to work on as part of for my birthday, you don't have to. So I feel a bit, but I really get a kick out of joining other people in their sales. Vintage Chick Stitcher, when she had the just stitch on something Christmassy. Who else? I've started, the Tracy P sales, and Emily C's doing something, just general, and sometimes it is just general. And Jessie Marie did something for hers. I've really enjoyed it. So if you would like to join me, please do. You don't have to do a start. If you've got a Joan Elliott or a Mirabilia on your go, stitch your favourite. If you've got more than one, stitch your favourite with my start on my birthday, or something at some point during the month of February if you're going to be busy on that day. I haven't got a hashtag. I'm not really good at making up stuff like that, even though it could be just simple as hashtag Linda Aussie Stitcher's birthday. But maybe tag me if you're going to show it. I will talk about it again in January coming up. But I can't wait to start this beautiful. And I wasn't going to start it because I'm doing Sleeping Beauty from Joan Elliott that Meg, and I have to work in that too, my birthday month. I think I might do a Stitching Mummy and work on all my favourite whips. Because that's a good way to celebrate your birthday when you're a stitcher. But yeah, and I've got my fabric, which is Picture This Plus Ariel. 32 count. And that's it. I am having quite a few starts next year. I will list them down and maybe at the beginning of the year go through them. But just as I won't do it right now. I'll wait till I've actually got, because I'm waiting for one of them to come in to go, yep, this is when I'm starting them. Myranalis Parade is going to go ahead, along with a Joan Elliott Parade, which surprised me, and quite a few asked me of that. And then I would do a stash parade, which also kind of surprised me, the amount of people that actually wanted to see my stash. Don't know why it surprised me, it just did. And yeah, I had a lot of people ask for a Joan Elliott as well. So as soon as the box from Just Add Needles come in, which is in Australia, floating around somewhere, just not at my post office, I will show you that. If you're looking for a Joan Elliott, a Mirabilia one, and you haven't seen any yet, go and check out Ladybird Stitchers. She's done one, and that was really quite nice to sit down. I stitched on my Spring Queen while watching it, and I really enjoyed it. And notice that we have a lot the same. There's still a reasonable amount that I don't have, but there was quite I've got that one, I've got that one, oh, I've got that one. Just shows you we have good taste. And then I'll do a Joan Elliott one, and then I'll do a stash one. I also got asked to do a whip parade, and I'll probably do that in the first week of January. And it's a good place for me to start also, as I'm waffling on, coming up to 40 minutes instead of the 30 minutes that it was, to know that this is roughly where my whips are at the beginning of the year, and do it. But yeah, thank you everyone for leaving comments. I got a real big kick out of all the new comments that I've got. My subscribing list is going up, so thank you for that as well. Thank you for the likes, but thank you for the comments. I've been trying to answer them a bit more promptly than I have been, saying that if you wrote a comment in the last 2 weeks, it probably hasn't even been looked at with all the stuff that's been going on. But thank you again. I'll see you hopefully in the next week or two with a Mirabilia parade. Happy stitching, people.